Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Lee. Today we are doing episode 6 of my YouTube channel. Today is a very special day. Today is the day that my grandmother was born. So today's episode is going to be dedicated to her. She gets to spend her 72nd birthday in her favorite place in heaven with her favorite person in the world, Jesus. We do miss her so much down here, but I know she's at peace, so that makes me very happy. So before we get into the episode details, I wanted to let you guys know a couple of updates. So there's been a couple of products that got uploaded on the website. So we have our new legendary crop top shirt for the ladies, and we also have the regular sweatshirt for the ladies as well. And fellas, we did not forget about you. We finally have your sweatshirt as well, so you can buy your legendary sweatshirt to match if you have like a significant other, or it doesn't matter if you want to buy one for yourself. We do have the shirt for the men out on the website, so go to your shop, make sure you get your size. And also this Friday, November 15th, we are dropping our new sweatshirt called, it has a saying on there and it says, "Give constant pressure." And just a little bit about that, giving constant pressure to yourself, giving yourself drive, giving yourself ambition. You want to give yourself constant pressure because you'll be the most successful person you could be, and you can give yourself so much drive and you could be successful. So that saying goes quite a few different ways. So however you take it. Give Constant Pressure sweatshirt comes out on Friday, so make sure you look out for the website for that. Make sure you go to the website, go into my About Me section on my YouTube channel, and you will just click the link, and you can just go subscribe so you can keep up with the latest and the greatest. So let's get into it. So episode 6 is going to be dedicated to my grandmother, as I mentioned earlier. So I have her little balloon here because today is her birthday. So this is her cute little birthday balloon I have. And I also brought a couple of things that reminded me of my grandmother. I have one of her favorite stuffed animals that she's always kept in her case. My grandmother was a huge fan of stuffed animals. So I brought one of the stuffed animals over to the monitor over here. Just so I can have him sit with me through this, because I'm going to have to squeeze him to get me through this. I took several of her teddy bears because I am too a teddy bear lover, so I definitely get that from her. And also, I have my cute Indian doll here my grandmother gave me when I was very small. I was about maybe 3 or 4 years old, and she gave me this doll, and I've been in love with her ever since. This represents our culture because we are, my great-grandfather, he's from Bangladesh, as I mentioned in Bangladesh. As I mentioned in the previous videos before, I also have my grandmother's obituary. Don't mind the obituary. I have more pictures, several pictures of my grandmother, but I just happen to have them scattered all over the place right now. I gotta get an album for her and my other grandmother too. So this is what I'm gonna use. She's gonna kind of hang out with me for the video. She's gonna kind of chill to the side for a little bit. And also I brought this. These are the horoscope books because me and my grandmother, I used to love talking to her about the different horoscopes, and this is just a little piece of her that I brought over. My grandmother loved plants too, but I was gonna bring like the whole plants over here, and it just so I'm gonna get through this. Believe it or not, this is about my second or third take for this video. The video before this video that I'm recording, I actually cried, so I had to get it together. So here I am. So I just want to be really quick with it. So my grandmother taught me a lot of things growing up, and one of the things is value yourself. Excuse me, guys, I'm still sick. I actually have a cold, and I'm drinking a little bit of tea. So that way I can try to get better here. It's been almost 2 weeks now since I had this cold. It needs to go away. So one of the things that my grandmother always taught me, she always taught me to value myself as a woman. Never settle for less. My grandmother always taught me to love myself the way that I am. I always battled with imagery of myself, and I used to always think that I was like too heavy or too fat, or I wasn't prettier, or my hair wasn't straight enough. And my grandmother always said, always make sure you love yourself, because inner love starts with you. And once you love you, then everybody else can love you too. And I had to think deep about that because I used to battle with, like, peer pressure. Everybody would, you know, make fun of the girl with the big boobs. I was the girl with the big boobs in school. And I used to get made fun of. And I used to talk to my mom, my grandmother, and they used to say, you just have to embrace what you have. Embrace your beauty. You're beautiful. My grandmother always said that I was beautiful, and my other family members. She was just a beautiful person. Everybody was beautiful, and she always made you feel special. So she always said, you make sure you gotta love you first. You gotta love your inner beauty before you can love someone else. And as I was growing up, I began to see what she was saying. Sorry guys, I got cold. I began to see what she was saying, and as I got older, I began to see my beauty. I began to embrace my big boobs because they were a part of me. And as long as I was fit and okay for how I looked and how I felt, everybody else's opinion didn't matter. Grandma always said, nah, their opinions never matter. And I said, Grandma, you're right. I was just feeling down for the moment, but you made me feel better. So the first lesson she taught me, always love yourself first. The other lesson that she's always taught me, live your best life, basically. Live your best life in my terms, but live your life. My grandmother, that girl loved her some soca, boy. She loves her some soca. She was always the life of the party. She had such a contagious laugh. And, it could be like a dull moment. Things are happening. Bad things are happening. But my grandmother always found a way. This is nasty. Sorry, guys. My grandmother always found a way to turn the events around. And she always made life fun. Always make life fun because you only have one life. So anybody who's watching this video, I want you guys to understand that you only have one life. Okay? That's it. Once you close your eyes and your heart stops, that's it. You don't come back unless you believe in reincarnation. To my believers in reincarnation. But you don't come back. That's it. Your actual physical, that's it. So, my grandmother always said, make sure you do what you love. Always live your life. I remember one time my grandma was unsure. I will never forget this story, and I'm so happy she did it. She was unsure if she wanted to go on a cruise. And when my mom told me that, I said, Grandma, I got on the phone. I used to always run in the kitchen and pick the phone up in the kitchen. My mom would be in the living room. I'll run into the kitchen. I say, Grandma, you going on a cruise? And she said, I don't know. I don't know if I should. And I said, Grandma, you have one life to live. And this was literally like maybe a few years back, not even too long ago. I'm glad she did it. She was so unsure of going on this cruise. I said, Grandma, you have one life to live, just like you always told me. Excuse me. Just like you always told me. You need to go on that cruise. And she went on that cruise and had the time of her life. You have to take risks sometimes. And she's taught me that. Everything doesn't come easy, but you also don't want to spend your life doing things that, regretting. You don't want to spend your life regretting that you didn't do certain things. And I am so happy that she went on that cruise. She had the time of her life. And she told us all the stories that happened on the cruise ship and how she was jamming to the music. And it was just so wonderful just to hear that, because she was living her life. You have one, and you have to live outside the box. You know, sometimes it's a little scary sometimes, but if you're willing to go out of your median and do it, do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. My grandma always said, you know, people's opinions don't matter. Do what you want to do, if that's what you want to do. My grandma was also a little fashionista too. So half the things that I have in my closet now came from her closet. So I got my fashion sense. I got my fashion sense from both of my grandmothers, but primarily she had a lot going on in her closet. She was always matching. Every time she went to a party, she always looked good. And what made me upset was because I couldn't be with her all the time, because she lived in Florida and I was here. So seeing her pictures on Facebook and seeing her all dressed up, I'm like, look at my grandma. I look just like her too. It's so scary. Like, I look just like her because I look just like my mom. And I look just like her. It's so scary. I'm like, oh my God, I look like grandma. Especially when I smile, I look just like her. But every time I would see her beautiful pictures on Facebook, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at my grandma looking all cute. She'll make a t-shirt look fashionable. She'll have a plain t-shirt. She'll throw on some beads and some cute earrings and some bangles, and she'll make that thing rock out. So I got some of my fashion sense from her. My grandmother also taught me a lot, especially reading those horoscope books. I loved it when she read the horoscopes to me. Every conversation would be about the horoscopes. So every time I would call, I would tell her, Grandma, I got this new guy friend. I need you to read his horoscope to make sure that we're compatible, because I don't want to waste my time. So here comes Grandma. She goes, so then she'll go ahead and tell me all about Mr. And then once that happens, I'm like, okay, so I got to keep this on the mind. And then a couple months later, boom, I have call her up. Grandma, you were right about him. He was horrible. So my grandma was a strong believer in astrology and horoscopes. And I also get that from her, because I am a strong believer of astrology and horoscopes. And that's why Nova's name is Nova, after a supernova. My grandmother loved that name. She's like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. But she was a very giving person. My grandmother loved to give, especially if she had it, she'd give it to you. She'll give you the shirt off her back. She'll go to the end to make sure your bills were paid or you had food if you needed it. Like, my grandma was the best. Like, she always made sure that you were taken care of. And she loved her kids, man. She loved her kids. She always made sure that not only were her kids taken care of, but her grandkids were taken care of. I will never forget a presence when she came. Like, she would leave. It was just like she would like leave her spirit behind when she would leave and go back to her house or go back to Florida. Like, she would leave her spirit, and her spirit will still be there. And I'm just like, I just feel so good because she was here. So, you know, it's a joy to have your grandparents here while they're here. And, you know, learning from my grandmother, I had a deep conversation with her last summer. And I'm glad that this happened. She was, again, skeptical of making a trip because she was a lot older at this point. I think she was in her mid to late 60s when she went on the cruise. But now she's 70 at this point, and she's like, I don't know if I want to come to New Jersey because I haven't been there in years. And I would love to come back for at least a week. And she was thinking about it, and she kept thinking about it. And there was, you know, she didn't know if she could make the train ride. But let me tell you something. She got on that train. And she came all the way here. And I was happy because, she felt like she was home again, up north. She's originally from New York, so she got the New York personality. That girl was tough. Just my other grandma too. Both my grandmas came from New York. I was like, damn, no wonder I have such a tough personality. I got it from my grandmothers who instilled it in their children. So that's why I have such a strong personality when it comes to realism and things like that, because I got two beautiful grandmothers who both came from New York. They came from different parts of New York, but that's where they're from. And my grandmother was very happy to be here, and I want to say that I am blessed that she got to meet my kids. I'm just happy that she was able to come up for her last trip before she closed her eyes in January. I'm just happy that she came and she saw my kids. I would have been distraught if she would have passed before then, before seeing my kids, because she got to meet everybody else's kids except for mine. So I was blessed and I was very happy that she got to meet my two daughters. But I had a very deep conversation with her in my room last year when I was actually going through like a really hard point in my life. I'm sorry guys, my news. A really hard point in my life, and I needed to talk to her because I needed advice and I wanted to hear her story. And boy, let me tell you, she told me some stuff. And I'll never forget it. But one thing she kept telling me, just don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on your dream. I want you to keep going with your business. I have a really good feeling about your business. And this was after she left and went back to Florida. I was talking to her like maybe a couple weeks later. When she went back to Florida, she was reading horoscopes, and she read one horoscope for me. And she asked me, she was like, so, okay, when did you start your business? So I told her. Then she started reading horoscopes. Then she says to me, your business is going to be successful and you're going to make a lot of money. And I said, Grandma, really? I mean, that's the goal, just to make sure everything is, everything, and I hope my business does succeed so I can make money. And she said, no, you're going to make money. And I want you got to understand your business is going to grow and you're going to make money. I want to say this was like back in September of last year, before everything started happening all at once. So I'll never forget that the confidence that she had in me to keep pushing, because she knows how passionate I am about my fashion thing. She knows how passionate I am about helping people. She knows how passionate I am about my dreams and goals, and she just kept pushing me and making sure that I stayed focused no matter what I went through with anybody. She always kept me focused when I talked to her on the phone. Even if I didn't agree with her, because there was times I didn't agree with her. I'm like, Grandma, I gotta call you back. I'm getting mad, I gotta call you back. And then a couple of times I had to do that, but, Grandma she understood my side of everything and how I felt about different things I was going through, especially last year. Lord, especially last year. It felt good talking to her, because I appreciated her presence being there, because just like I had with my other grandma, it could have been my last summer with her, and sadly it was my last summer with her, and I'm glad that she came here to spend her last summer here with us, because I didn't really get to spend time with her like that because she lived in Florida. So I always talk to her, especially on like holidays and things like that. We always called her, made sure she was cool, just talk to her, just to make sure just catching up and seeing what she was up to. And, she'll cook her favorite dish, and my favorite dish, curry chicken, curry goat. I will miss her cooking. She was fantastic when she cooked. Oh my goodness, my grandma's cooking was so pristine. Like, it was just so good. I miss it so much, and I'm so happy that she came last summer and she made the curry chicken. I was excited about that. So it made me feel like, excuse me, right now I'm very bittersweet, because this is our first birthday, that we don't get to sing to her. I mean, we can sing to her and she'll hear it. Of course she'll hear it, but it's not the same. We all had to go through, all of our birthdays this year and not hear her beautiful voice. I was trying so hard to avoid saying that, but it was beautiful every birthday. She would call us, all of us, and she would sing happy birthday to all of us, everybody. Even if she didn't have your phone number, she would go on Facebook, and she would make sure that she would say happy birthday to everybody. She always made sure everybody felt special on their birthdays, you know. So losing her was just like losing another part of me. I lost both of my grandmothers and I missed them so much. So I promised myself in this video I wouldn't cry, but that's one of the things that, you know, that kind of makes you soft inside. So one of the things that she loved to do was call everybody on their birthday and sing to them. And we all had to go through our birthdays. We're still going through our birthdays through the year, because she passed early. She passed in January. So we're all going through all of our birthdays without hearing her beautiful voice singing happy birthday to us. And it's hard. It's hard because today we would have loved to call her to sing happy birthday. I would have ran right over to my mom's and I would have told Mom, put grandma on speaker, and we would have called to sing happy birthday. She always sang to us. Even if she was sleepy as anything, she would always wake up and you would hear her strong voice and she would sing happy birthday. So she was a phenomenal woman. And I'm glad that I got to enjoy her for 27 years. Well, 26 and a half, because she was 26. I was 26 when she passed in January. So that was the toughest blow. So please appreciate your grandparents. Appreciate them while they're here. I have one left. And I try to talk to him, but he's still always on the move. That little man, he's always on the move. My grandpa's always on the move, y'all. But, you know, just appreciate your grandparents, you know, because they're not here forever. And, you know, one day we'll be grandparents and, you know, then we'll have our time. But, you know, just appreciate them. I appreciate everything my grandmother did for our family. She was so ambitious, man. That lady was so ambitious. I could sit here and tell you her life story and you'll be like, what? But I'm so glad that I was able to enjoy her for these past 26 years. She was fantastic. And I just hope her birthday in heaven was as fantastic as she was here on earth. So her life lessons: love yourself, Make sure you love yourself. Don't stop fighting for your dreams. Keep going. It's going to get hard. That's what life is about. It's going to get hard. It is. It's not a whole bunch of roses. Like, you're not going to go through life without going through the bumpy path. You cannot do that. That's just not life. You have to go through the bumpy path in order to get to the smooth pavement. You just, she always reminded me of that. You're going to go through stuff in order to get to the other side where you're supposed to be. So don't forget that. And also, don't have any regrets. Take risks. My grandma took a lot. She took a lot of risks. She did. And, I'm glad she did. And I'm glad that she lived her life the best way she could. She was just tired. She was tired. And I'm glad she left behind a legacy. She has all of us amazing grandkids, all of her amazing kids, all of her amazing great-grandkids. She has a whole bunch of them, too. So, she made her legacy. She made her legacy here on earth. And I'm just happy that she's at peace. And I hope her birthday was celebrated the way that it could have been celebrated here in heaven, that it would have been celebrated here. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. It's been 26 minutes. And then, of course, I was trying to avoid crying, and it happened. So, I'm going to go ahead and end the video before I get more emotional. No, I'm only kidding. I'm fine. My grandma wouldn't want me to be sad today. She'd be playing her calypso music right now with her little dance with her little hands. So, I want to thank you guys so much for watching me. Again, I do thank you for your support. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment below. What are your favorite memories of your grandparents? And if you still have your grandparents, what are the lessons that they've taught you so far in life? What have you instilled from your grandmom or your grandpa, Mimi, Pop? What have you learned, that's helping you cope through life? Comment below so I can see what life lessons you've learned before. Again, thank you so much for watching me, guys. This is your girl, Lee. And watch out for episode 7. Episode 7 will most likely be dropping in a couple weeks. We're going to go through some more Andrea Rose LLC products. I'm going to bring you guys up on the products for the Christmas season, so that way you guys kind of take a look to see what I got to offer. All right, guys, take care.